Cinema Classics is sponsored by the Gateway Film Center and is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. You can listen to full shows online at wcbe.org. I'm Johnny DiLoretto.
I'm John DeSando.
This is Cinema Classics.
It is.
One of my favorite subjects, Batman.
Oh, yeah. Don't tell me there's another one.
There is another one. Yet another iteration.
I can't even remember how many.
You know what is? It is so bizarre to me that, believe me, I spent a lot of time thinking about why does this still matter to me. I have to think, number one, that this character. I mean, you've been around longer than I have. This character has to be one of the most successful mythologies created in modern times. There are no other characters like this, save for, like, you know, Greek mythological stuff that endure. Batman, Superman, these are our new. You've said this many times. These are our new mythologies.
Yeah.
And they do resonate like that,
Yeah,
right?
they do.
This character still kind of has power.
And you know, I think that you're bringing up something that's really important to me about this. We have Rob Pattinson interpreting Batman again.
Mm-hmm.
But what's happening for me is that I've watched for how many years since the 60s? I watched Adam West. I watched it start out goofy
Yeah.
to become more serious, more serious, more serious. Incredible over the years how serious this has become. But what it is for me is, in this one, in this particular Batman,
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that he isn't a superhero.
Well, he never has been.
Right, I know that, and that's
But-
what I think is so attractive to me.
And that goes right back to Batman's roots. So in the late 30s, when Superman came on, he was let's just say, for all intents and purposes, he is the first superhero.
Yeah.
Right? These young guys from Cleveland, invented this character, Superman, who could do all these amazing things. By the way, even in that earliest iteration, he wasn't as all powerful as he is. But DC quickly came up with, okay, what else can we do, right? Let's do a character that was the opposite of Superman. So here's a dark sort of figure, right? A vigilante figure that has no superpowers. So that is implanted in the character of Batman from the start. Now, over the years, yes, his superpower becomes his, he's a genius, he's a fighting expert, his superpower is money, he has all these resources.
And it sounds like you're describing Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man is an iteration of
right?
Batman,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we see this time and again. So let me ask you, watching this movie, The Batman, Matt Reeves, 3-hour noir opus.
Which, I was ready for this because he did Cloverfield, which is absolutely one of my favorites over the last few years.
And the Planet of the Apes remakes.
Exactly.
Some of them are better. Like the third one, I think, is great. Anyway,
yeah.
what did you, watching this movie, what is new here for you regarding this character?
The romance is absolutely new to me and beautiful.
Really?
Yes. When he kisses Catwoman,
Mm-hmm.
Silhouetted against the city, and there's something ethereal,
Mm-hmm.
something unreal, and yet something very real. The attraction of both of them together, the impossibility of their ever being in love or being lovers, but yet the beauty and the simplicity of their connection is completely new to me.
Okay.
And once again humanizes what I loved 50 years ago. I still love. He's human.
Well, yeah, right. But if you go back, and you're right about the relation, they do a little twist on the classic Batman-Catwoman relationship.
Okay, yeah.
Because if you go all the way back to the Adam West show, there is a sexual tension there.
Okay.
Catwoman is always pursuing
you're right.
or flirting with Batman. That gets, explored to a degree in Batman Returns with Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer. You'll remember the classic shot
Sure.
where she licks his face. She licks his mask. So you're right. I mean, that what is new is this sort of and they do it too with in The Dark Knight Rises, with Anne Hathaway, but not to this degree.
Okay.
Not to this sort of romantic kind of degree.
I'll tell you what else is new for me on this. The interpretation of the Penguin.
Okay.
I didn't have that coming
Uh-huh.
to the degree that the character, and I'm not going to say who the actor is because it's a fun game to play with people you know.
Okay.
Saying, you go and you see and you tell me who the actor is because there's no way. Well, I'm not even sure you.
It's Jared Leto.
it's exactly what he might have done.
Yeah, right.
But I don't even know if you would have been able to figure out who.
Well, I wouldn't have known.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I knew.
Yeah.
I've known for 2 years.
If you hadn't.
But if I hadn't, yeah, it's a real surprise. That character was one of a few little nitpicking disappointments that I had. As watchable and as fun as the Penguin is, it's little more than a fat-suited Goomba stereotype.
It is.
And I'm not sure what weight the character,
I
other
know.
than his physical weight.
Well, let me throw
brings
into
to the
you,
proceedings.
and I mentioned to you this when we were reading together, when Batman and the Lieutenant query him on the street, Penguin, against the wall,
Yeah.
and he starts parrying back with him. He's riffing on De Niro.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. He's doing all the. It's basically an impression of every sort of.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
Goodfellas, you know.
I know,
It was fun, but
it was hilarious.
but it's in service of very little. Back to my original point about, or my question for you
Yeah.
about what endures about this character. So, the Penguin. There's a scene where the Penguin is menaced by Batman in the Batmobile,
Oh,
and the scene where the Batmobile fires up.
it's
I
excellent.
started to get chills.
Oh, it was
Now that goes
great.
right back to my childhood fantasies about being in that car, about I don't know what it is, if it's what the fantasy is, what the allure is. Do we hope deep inside that there is a character, there is a person, that it's possible that a human being would go to these lengths to exact justice or to make our lives better? Is that what it is?
I love that question because in my mind, over the course of the decades that I've been watching this, he has always been an antidote to the wars that we have been foolishly involved in around the world. And there's some kind of an ability to fight evil. When I think in some of our wars, and I think of Vietnam, Afghanistan, and now in Russia and so on, there's almost a sense that there's nothing that we can do. This is a character who gives me the hope that something can be done. It's all figurative, of course.
Right.
But I think there's, at least for me, there's that allure in it. That finally I found somebody who can stand up to evil
Right.
and make a difference. Even though this Batman, Pattinson, as good as he still is unable to do anything about the corruption in Gotham.
Right, and that's part of and Batman is a reflection, right, of
Yeah.
of our times. And so, one of the things you have to ask about Batman is the other thing that I think is maybe the toxic side of the Batman mythology is that a wealthy capitalist could be so pure of heart. We know that that's almost never true. But it's this idea that yes, a rich person might be able to sacrifice their well-being for the better of the citizens of their community. We never see that, so that's part of the fantasy too.
Yep.
Is, wouldn't it be amazing if a rich white guy sacrificed himself on a daily basis to better the lives of his fellow
Good point.
citizens?
I was thinking as I was watching this as well, we had just come off of a discussion of The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
And when John Turturro comes in to play Carmine Falcone,
Yeah.
I thought that was beautiful and an echo of The Godfather somewhere in all of that. I thought his interpretation was wonderful.
Well, you know what actually is really great to your point there about, to me it was more almost like a Sidney Lumet-esque exploration of police corruption.
Oh yeah, and the
You know?
city. Yeah,
Prince of the
nobody
City.
could do the city better than he
Right,
could.
Prince of the City,
Yeah, right.
Serpico.
Yeah.
That's what
Yes.
and that's the movie's ace up its sleeve, is that Batman isn't really fighting down and dirty on the streets, just based like criminals, like muggers. Like he's not fighting criminals who behave because of their socioeconomic situation. He's fighting this massively corrupt system from top to bottom. Anyway, more on this.
Oh no!
More
Are
on
we
Matt
at-
Reeves' The
Oh
Batman.
no! Really?
Yeah, you have to head over to wcbe.org and tune into Double Take.
The podcast experience.
Yeah.